Hi, and welcome to a post New York primary commentary by me, Richard Scott, here at Democracy Theater. Um, wow, that was quite a beating that Bernie Sanders took. At the last count, he was down by, I think, certainly more than 10 points. And it looks like Hillary Clinton will be getting the more than 25 delegates that she was looking to get out of New York to kind of put a punctuation to the election moving forward. I mean, first of all, it's not over. We know that there's a long way to go. There is a possibility that neither one of them, if Sanders continues to slug it out, and we continue to work hard and support Sanders, then there is a possibility that um, neither one of them will reach the number of delegates needed for a clear nomination in the pledged delegate, and then we'll have a discussion at the convention to see who will be our nominee. But it certainly looks like Hillary Clinton. Uh, it looks good for Hillary Clinton at this point. Can we just be honest about that? One of the reasons I wanted to do this postscript of the New York primary, and I chose to do it here at damn near midnight, um, is because there's a couple of things that bothered me here in this New York primary. One of them, of course, was the debate. Um, I think the biggest problem, or one of the problems that Sanders had, was that he wasn't really good at, the question comes all the time, right? Well, why don't you show me the quid pro quo for the money that Hillary Clinton received or anybody receives, right? And Bernie Sanders has to have a better answer on that. He also needed to know, and this is not his fault, but his people's fault. Excuse me, the people that prepare him uh, for the debate, uh, and that is that. Um, I mean, they must have done a review of her 2014 tax returns, right? They're posted on her website, and they showed that her minimum speaking fee was uh, was $225,000, and what I mean by that is exactly that. That's her minimum fee. So it wasn't. Remember when she said, "Hey, well, why did you take so much money from Goldman Sachs?" And she, well, that's what they offered, and that's just not true, right? Uh, she had 41 speeches in 2014, and 34 of those speeches she received $225,000 for. God, it must be nice. Jesus Christ. I hope when she's done as president, she gives a course in writing the type of speeches that you give where you receive 200. Shit, I just give me $20,000. I'll do speeches all day long for 20,000. I mean, seriously. All right. So seven speeches for 250,000, and the other speeches were for 265,000, 275, 285, 305,000, and $400,000. Right. So these are that's the sheet that people get, right, when they call her agent or her personal assistant. I'm sure they wouldn't dare call it an agent, and say, hey, we would like to have Hillary Clinton come and speak at this function. Uh, how much would that cost in her speaking fees, and how much do we need to donate to your husband's foundation? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding. So I don't know why he wasn't I don't know why he wasn't, better versed at that, or why his people didn't didn't give him more information so that he could hit Hillary Clinton with some numbers and some facts. The things that, everybody says Hillary Clinton is so detailed, and she is. I wasn't mocking her. I was mocking the people who say that, and Bernie Sanders should have had these numbers. Bernie Sanders should say there were speeches for 400,000, right? uh, out of the by the way, out of the 41 speeches that she had, out of the 41 speeches that she had, uh, 14, in addition, 14 of them was Wall Street funds. It was Goldman Sachs, it was Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Fidelity Investment, UBS, and Bank of America. Some heavy hitters in that industry. And again, um, when the Clinton people, or when Hillary Clinton was asking for a quid pro quo, he did start, Bernie Sanders did start by saying, well, that's not how it works, and blah, blah. He could say, well, one of the ways that money influence politics is that we have set up a system that makes it so that bankers and financial institutions can wreck the economy and can commit damn near fraudulent activities, if not absolute fraudulent activities, right? And not be prosecuted. The way that money influences politics is that Goldman Sachs and the other investment banks and the other banks that have settled with the federal government gets to give the federal government, but nobody goes to jail. Not one person. What money buys in politics is that the regulators that are supposed to regulate these industries are undermanned and underfunded. That's what money buys in Washington, D.C. Tax loopholes is what money buys. Judges that comes up with terms like affluenza for that kid in Florida. That's what money buys in our corrupt system. And it's not just Washington that's corrupt, right? We know that. It's not just the federal houses of government, our presidency, our Senate, our Congress. It's our state houses, it's our mayor, it's our local senators and congressmen and water districts and whatever else there is where there's elected people that are out there getting money, trying to serve a public that has been told that we can have a civilized society and have all the benefits of a civilized society, but not have to pay anything for it. So everybody is trying to hold our water delivery system together with sewing needles and thread. Our bridges are falling apart. And it's not just about Republicans. It's also an attitude of Americans for some good reasons. But we don't really want to pay the taxes, right? We don't want to pay the price for living in a civilized society. But I digress. Back to what Bernie Sanders was missing. He was certainly missing that. Another thing I thought he could have done was that he should have gone after Hillary Clinton on Honduras. I think it's the most recent it was the reason it's a more recent well, that's okay. Let's not call it recent, but there are certainly all kinds of aspects in it that Bernie Sanders would have scored big with by uh, pointing out a couple of facts about Honduras, right? One of the facts that he could point to was that Hillary Clinton, despite the cables that she got from her own ambassador in Honduras telling her that it was a military coup, besides the fact that the military is actually flying the president out of the country, Hillary Clinton refuses to call it a military coup for humanitarian reasons, is what she says. But really, so we can continue to send weapons to Honduras, right? So that's where he could have attacked her on her hawkish, aggressive, interventionist foreign policy and want to return to a very aggressive American Middle East, American Central and South American policy that I'm sure we can. I mean, Henry Kissinger is our hero, right? Henry Kissinger, the inventor, or came up with the principle of the domino effect, right? He also had a very aggressive attitude towards our friends and neighbors south of us. So I thought I thought he should have pointed that out. I thought he should have pointed out that when the parents in desperation sends their children up here trying to get them to safety, but like Republicans say, they just people just send their kids up here because they got nothing better to do, or they really don't want to deal with their rotten kids, right? That's why they did it. Not they're escaping horrible violence perpetrated by a government, an illegal government installed after a military coup that our Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, refuses, despite cable after cable after cable from her ambassador saying it was an illegal military coup. Hillary Clinton refuses to call it that. So I think he kind of blew it a little bit in New York. It's okay. We'll move on from that, and I'm not sure it would have made a difference. I think it could have, but I'm not sure. I mean, it is Hillary's home state, of course. Fucking carpetbagger. Patrick Moynihan didn't even want her, right? At best, he was lukewarm on the idea that Hillary Clinton was taking over that seat. But, hey, whatever. All right. Another day tomorrow. Hopefully, he can turn around and surprise everybody in Pennsylvania. But he has to be better about the speech fees. He has to be better about money in politics. and he has to hit her on the war in Iraq. He cannot let people forget what a hawk she is on foreign policy. And I also think that he should attack her or contrast with her on her really, what has she done for the labor union? I mean, nobody has gotten back to me. I have looked. I cannot find anything that Hillary Clinton has done proactively to support the American labor union. So we shall see. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful evening. Congratulations to Hillary Clinton and her supporters. The fight goes on. See you tomorrow.